Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here, we are back for the episode of The Rise. This is episode 37, Divide and Conquer. And if you are looking at the screen, which you should be, you'll see that there's new fun artwork that's on here that has been commissioned by Snowdog's lovely partner. We have wonderful chibi anime style art for all of these lovely characters here. And we have a bonus one that for some reason Snow just commissioned, which is of Galvant in his bathrobe. You haven't got to see that one yet. If I bring Galvant back, I'll put him on screen as Galvant in a bathrobe.
We can call him Gresham too, maybe.
Yeah. That being said, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel just like these fine folks, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon. Link for that down in the description down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I do mostly terrible things, but sometimes they're good. Sometimes other gods pray to other gods, and that's good. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to this channel for all kinds of things like artwork and editing and my mortgage. Just, little simple things. And without further ado, previously on The Rise. As war horns sounded around the small forest, a conflux of harmonic and discordant energies washed over Seydlitz, forging a bond that predated the fall of Elanehtar. As the Chryserian armies surged forward, Mina raced to the south, bent on locating the deposed king, while Antares teleported back to the city. Reunited, Antares, Corax, and Seydlitz watched from the crenellations as Mina charged headlong into the advancing army, bounding over soldiers, frantically seeking the head of the serpent. Before we see what they're doing, I wrote a little thing.
Ooh.
Under the relentless gaze of the midday sun, the city of Samora stands besieged, its ancient walls bearing the scars of relentless bombardment from Chryserian siege engines. The air, thick with dust and smoke of continuous assault, vibrates with the clamor of war machines and the distant ominous march of the Chryserian forces. Yet before the city's gates, guardians stand resolute, embodying the defiance and spirit of their factions, their resolve unshaken by the encroaching shadow. In the north, the figure of Paolo Barboa of the Red Serenity commands attention, his pointed and plumed helm catching the harsh sunlight, a symbol of leadership and valor, his dark skin set against the backdrop of his black leather armor with bold red accents, speaks of a warrior seasoned by many battles. Eyes fixed on the horizon, he watches the siege engines unleash their fury, each impact against the city's wall a call to arms, a challenge he is ready to meet. To the east, the serene presence of Kieran Anderle of the High Shroud contrasts with the chaos that surrounds him. His pale skin and striking white eyes, set against irises of deep mystical blue, exude an aura of calm amidst the storm. Garbed in desert-style armor, his figure is a testament to the power that lies beyond the physical, a bibliomancer whose true strength is drawn from the arcane and the mysteries of knowledge, an unseen force against the visible threats that loom. In the west, Sinwai's rider of the vigorous jackal stands poised for battle, her determination mirrored in the rugged landscape of her armor, a blend of brown and green leather accented with a side cape that billows like a standard in the wind. The large hand claws that hang from her belt are a silent promise of the ferocity and resolve with which she will defend her city. Her gaze, fixed on the advancing enemy, is a challenge, a testament to the spirit of the jackals. As the midday sun casts long shadows over Samora, the guardians at the gates steel themselves for the battle to come. The city, a bastion of hope amidst the encroaching darkness, is alive with the preparations for defense. The casting of protective spells, the readying of weapons, and the steadfast hearts of those who stand on the brink of conflict. In this moment, Samora is more than stone and mortar. It is a fortress of courage, with Paolo, Kieran, and Sinwise as its enduring sentinels. So we get a cool little flash of what's happening in the rest of the city, where normally we focus on just where you guys are. So we see the camera sort of pan around the city, and you get these wide shots of these factions of mercenaries standing against this impossibly large army that is slowly marching forward towards the city. We cut to the southern gate, where we see Darian Hargens with his Knights of Redemption mixed with Faz Rama and his city guard.
Faxus Rama.
Faxus Rama, thank you. And atop the crenellations, just to the left of the southern gate, we see Corax, Captain Morgan, foot astride one of the crenellations. Dirt and dust vibrates next to his feet as he is semi-knelt in prayer to the god of protection. We see beside him, to the left and to the right, Antares and Seydlitz, knelt in similar deference, and the guards to either side of them are also knelt or leaning over their spears in deference, praying to the god of protection. Elsewhere in the city, atop a crooked spire, cloaks billow to the ground as we see Vishaden, bro god of magic, and bro god of Samora, take a knee, his cloak sort of out around him, also knelt in prayer for the god of protection to defend his city. And we see Mina charging, shoulders over shields, heads, helmets, caving underneath his boots as the ground ripples underneath the soldiers. A final leap into the air to the ground as we see the Chryserian forces part and a large reptilian beast resplendent in royal finery as King Jaseth looks down. But we don't start with Mina. We start back in Samora. The city is alive with sound. The clamor of battle, of people being removed, rescued out of their homes, buildings crumbling under the weight of the various siege engines, trebuchet, ballistae, catapult, etc., all destroying the city. We see droves of stone men have launched themselves out of the walls at the request of Vishaden. And we see the ever-advancing army. From the east, the west, the north, slightly slower from the south. Perhaps it was the giant bear that rampaged. Perhaps it was the chaos sown by Seydlitz. Perhaps it is the demigod that has just launched himself into the middle of their army. But on the north, east, and west, these groups move further and further, pulling siege engines. Beasts of burden move. We see officers astride their reptilian mounts, issuing commands. Hundreds upon hundreds of these soldiers move forward. Corax, you have requested something to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but something tells you it will soon. We see small lines of demarcation, stones set out away from the city, each marking a range that only the archers in the city can see. And in the east, the west, and the north, the first of the soldiers hit the farthest line. Corax, you know this area in a circle around the city has been soaked with alchemist's fire. The guards simply wait your command. You see, as you look, you can see the forces essentially behind you moving in closer and closer. The ones to the south, the ones you are facing, are the furthest out and will take them the longest to cross over that barrier. Do you give the order, or do you wait?
Corax doesn't give the order. Corax looks up, looks across to the east and west, realizes that army is moving in, and he adjusts his prayer to Mina. Mina had previously said to people that if you call his name, from anywhere in the city, he should hear you. There's hope from Korax that he listens. Doesn't always listen, but you can always hope. And he adjusts his prayer, and he sits there and he says, "Okay, Mina, time to do the smart thing. If you die out there, the rest of us are dead as well. Lead them towards the city. Get to dry ground, and just bring them in. Don't be stupid, because if you die, we all die." And he just repeats that message over and over again in the hopes that Mina listens.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to have you roll. I'll say intellect. It's going to be difficulty 0. I want to see what you roll. What you roll is the number that Mina needs to beat. He has dozens and dozens of people praying to him. Okay.
7.
So, target number is, difficulty 2. So, Mina, I need you to make a difficulty 2 intelligence.
Spend effort, drop unconscious, drain your intelligence pool.
I was just going to say...
Dice don't kill us now, I believe.
Yeah, Korax killed Mina.
I did a wall poster just that says on the back, "Dice don't kill me now."
Yeah.
Can I get an asset for the devoted defender that Mina has on Samora?
Yes. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a difficulty 2.
I mean, Korax did say that the city will fall if he dies.
Okay. So, as a reminder, Mina, you have just landed in front of the king and his entourage, spear and shield drawn. As you do like the cool part of the superhero landing, right? You do the landing and then you do like the slow look up, right? That's when this comes across, almost ruining how cool the moment is. You hear the, "Hey, you gotta get back. It's bad times over there. Come on back, buddy." You dove in here hell bent on seeing the king and just 1v1ing him. What do you do in this moment?
Well, Mina has had a huge change of heart since the real reason he was probably looking for Joseph for a one-on-one was because he figured that no one was going to miss him if anything happened to him. And now he's got half a city praying to him, which kind of contradicts that thought. So he curses Korax timing, looks up at the king and turns the superhero landing into a very deep bow.
Oh my god.
Okay. Do you say anything in this bow?
No, because Mina's trying to listen for any other information that might be coming from Korax on how the fuck he can get away from this.
You just hear that same message on repeat. It's like a number station. You just hear the same thing over and over again until Korax gets tired of praying to you.
Or you're dead.
Until Mina does something he's supposed to.
Right, that's true. Korax would get tired way before Mina can redirect an entire army. So yeah, you just hear the same thing on repeat.
So he just from the bow he goes, "King Joseph, can I help you in any way?"
Roll, Jesus. Roll me a difficulty 7. No, it's gonna be difficulty 8 because of everything you've done. Roll me a difficulty 8, intelligence, any kind of persuasion abilities work here. In fact, I think you might have an inability to have.
Yeah, social interactions are
Yeah,
an
yeah,
ability.
yeah.
I don't even know if it's worth rolling. I will.
It would be a
Hey,
9 at that point.
I
Because
mean,
of
you
your
can always roll
inability.
in that one.
I don't think that helps.
No, and that one makes it worse. It turns out.
If it's gonna hurt. Asset for devoted defender.
I'll take an asset for devoted defender. This is all a ruse into defense.
How about an asset for
All the prayers.
creating a narrative?
Ooh.
I enjoy those words. Are they on your character sheet?
Yeah, so it's a skill he has. You're
Okay.
trained in any task related to creating a narrative, such as a story, play, or scenario. This includes deception. If the deception involves a narrative, you're able to verbalize.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. I will give you a chance. You have only said, "Is there anything I can do to help you?" That is not inherently a narrative. If you construct a narrative right now that is deceptive, you can use that skill. If you're only saying, "You need any help?" You cannot use that skill.
Mina's not that smart. He can't think on his feet. I'll forego that one. It's too hard.
Okay.
There's
so,
nothing he can say that's going to work.
So your defender negates your inability, so that puts you still at an 8. Just a straight 8. You can apply effort if you so choose.
Yeah. Nope.
Unfortunately not. So you see him on top of this massive reptilian two-legged like raptor mount, right? And he looks down to you with just abject confusion as you seemingly leapt in combat mode, stood up, bowed, and said, "Do you need anything?" He looks confused, and it takes him a second to like fully register what just like the sequence of events in order. And then you hear like murmurs of because you're in the middle of the fucking army. It's not like you're separated. You hear other soldiers that are completely surrounding you talk about like the message kind of gets pushed out that you're the crazy person that was solo charging across the field. And also like the one that sort of kicked off the siege by like with like the the blinding shield and the spear. You're identifiable. So it finally gets to the king, both with people and his own recognition of who you are. If not the fact that you're a demigod, the fact that you are a champion of Samora. And he looks down and just sort of like points a saber at you. And just says, "To arms," as if like, why haven't they realized it yet either? And you see that the 5 people that are sort of trailing around him immediately like shove off of their saddles and leap to the ground. And you see heavily armored Chryserians. They vaguely look like a fully armored captain that you've seen before, but just like better equipment, and they all 5 of them begin to move towards you. Now the main army is still around you. They're still mostly pushing forward. Like the call hasn't been told to do anything else, so they're not directly engaging with you. But these 5 cadre members are all advancing on you, and Jathus is just sort of sitting there atop his strider. Do you do anything?
So those cadre members, if the one that's closest to him, if it's dismounted, Mina's going to try to use control the field to switch places with him and try to mount this war beast.
So before you do that, go ahead and roll me initiative. So it'll be either initiative if you have it or speed if you don't, and it's difficulty 5 for them.
No, failed.
Just so you know, guys, this part was not the bowing was not in my notes. The bowing and the lying was not in my notes. I didn't see that one happening. Okay, perfect. So they dismount and they advance on you faster than you can move. So before we start throwing some attacks around, we will cut back to the city. Korax, you, eyes closed, foot up, you are praying this over and over and over again. And Terry's, Seydlitz, what are you doing as this, wave of prayer essentially goes out? When do you stop praying? If at all.
Yeah, I don't.
Seydlitz. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Okay, I'll go.
Jinx.
I'll go first. She wouldn't really stop praying, but she will move so she can see what's going on, at least. And so she's no longer kneeling, but she's standing at the wall, like gripping the stone with her hands, and she's like her lips are moving as she's sending her prayer out to Mina. And she's just like watching him with an intense stare, as far away from them as he is.
Okay.
And
You can roll me a perception roll. So it's going to be intelligence based. Any kind of perception skills can lower that down.
Excuse me. I can sense ambush.
Nope, it's not an ambush. It's actively a war.
Okay. Well, I just mean if I'm perceiving Mina, can I see maybe something maybe he doesn't see? Or something.
I like your argument, but Mina is essentially the ambusher, not the ambushee. And when you're surrounded by the entire army, assume he can't see a lot of things. So no, I don't think that skill benefits you. You can assume the entire thing is an ambush, because he's in the heart of the war.
What's my difficulty?
Difficulty is gonna be, we'll say a 7, and we'll go from there just to see what, you'll see something. It's just gonna be how much you see. But 7 is everything.
Okay, well, I know I'm not gonna. I won't be able to succeed because I'm not spending edge.
Okay.
Because I don't have that many points left. So.
Okay. Well, it could be a 1, so you could just get sand in your eye.
That is cool. 7.
Okay. Cool. Before I answer that, Seydlitz, what are you doing?
Seydlitz is looking up from his prayer and kind of thinking to himself, is like, he has nothing to help Mina, so he has nothing really to help anyone at all the moment, so he's going to look for the nearest quartermaster or master at arms. His crossbow's
looking
broken.
For a weapon?
He's looking for a ranged weapon.
You can just take one off of any of the soldiers. The nearest quartermaster would be down the stairs and towards one of like the barracks rooms. There's not just like this place was set up to be like everyone brought their own weapon, and there was already like essentially barrels full of arrows to go, and they send runners to get more arrows, more Fletchers.
Seydlitz would rather not take if everybody brings their own weapon, he knows that he would rather not take a personal weapon of a soldier.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can run down into the city. All of his stats are refreshed for Seydlitz. He does his weapon broke.
Mm-hmm.
His crossbow's broken.
No, we're talking about Mina.
Oh. Yeah, that was your boon, Mina. Was that your pool's refreshed? That is correct. Yeah, so you can. Here's what I'll say: you can yell for someone to bring you a bow if you don't want to go through the motions of going down and getting through the city to the barracks themselves.
He's
so-
fine with going down.
Okay.
He's quick enough on his feet.
Okay. So
Plus,
go ahead.
he might get a better selection.
You don't. So you run down. It's all stock standard military issue. You run down the stairs and move to the nearest barracks. A grizzled quartermaster there, one-legged, unfit for battle, but quite fit for supply. Is doling out things and issuing orders to the people that are around. You rush in and are easily able to grab either a bow, a heavy crossbow, a crossbow, whichever you choose.
Heavy crossbow would be like an arquebus, right? Arbalist, sorry.
Yeah,
Arquebus is the firearm.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
If you're using Fire Emblem rules, yeah, pretty much.
Seydlitz is looking for a heavier arbalist for the sake of helping Mina, because if he's going to fire from the wall, he's going to need something a lot stronger.
Okay. In that case, you see they're not being issued, but they are there. Essentially, if you've ever seen like a ship, like a pirate ship or like a merchant vessel, there are small guns that are on like the prow of the ship that are used for close to medium range. It's essentially that, but it's a mini ballista, right? So it is incredibly heavy to wield by yourself. You essentially have to like tip the ass end down on something, lean it, and fire that way. It's not like a shoulder-mounted situation. So that's the heaviest thing they have in here.
Seydlitz is going to go to the quartermaster's like, do you mind if I borrow these two? And he's going to grab a standard crossbow and that big ballista.
Yeah, he lets you take both of them, knowing that you're one of the generals. It's not in his place to tell you no. So he grabs the small one, sort of tosses it to you, and him and someone else bring this heavy-ass thing over to you for you to bring back up to the parapets. While you're getting that squared away and traversing, we head back over there. And Terry's, you see a crowd splitting. So you see like essentially like when a river goes around a rock. That's what you see. You don't see any details, but you assume, based on the absolutely unnatural pattern of moving troops, that's probably where Mina is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other than that, you don't see like specifically what he's doing there.
Okay.
Korax, do you do anything, or do you remain in prayer?
So Korax is keeping his eyes on Mina, but
Okay.
he's keeping his prayer, and his prayer is getting more and more agitated the longer Mina takes.
Okay.
To the point he's probably swearing under his breath that Mina is going to be trapped if he doesn't move.
Go ahead and roll me that same perception roll. We'll start with difficulty 7 and see if you see more.
Is that me or Mina?
You, Korax.
A perception?
Yep, so it's going to be intelligence. Perception works if you have a skill for perception. Any kind of looking. I'll even take, I could argue, knowledge of godly beings in this case. Mina is a godly being and you're looking for him.
Yeah, we'll do that. We're going to apply efforts because we need to get Mina to move. Nice. Success.
Success. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. You've been watching Mina run, like you've been squared on the entire time he's running over the heads of people. You watch him leap, and you also see the crowd begin to like move around, right? And you see him stand. He doesn't draw a weapon to attack. He has it out, but he doesn't go into attack mode at first. And you see that there is a brief moment where no one over there is doing anything. The crowd continues to move around him, and then you see 5 people dismount their raptors and start to advance on Mina. You get the impression that if he has heard you, either he is unable to or unwilling to do what you said.
Okay.
Okay.
There's nothing.
So
Corax can't do what he needs to do until Mina moves.
Okay. I mean, you can. It just makes it very inconvenient for Mina. It's still doable.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say. You're smart enough as the god of knowledge. I will give you a countdown. The longer you wait, the closer the northwest and east forces get to the walls. So I'm going to give you, let's see here. I'm going to give you 5. Your countdown clock is 5. Every time 5 hours? No. Minutes. No, every seconds. I will tick it down from 5. Essentially every full combat round, or full round of you all doing something, it will tick down. And once it ticks down, the first of the soldiers will reach the walls, which means that Paolo, Faxis, Kieran, and the other one whose name I can't remember right there at the top of my head, will be in melee combat now. They will be in melee combat at the walls.
I have 2 more questions here then, Mike.
Yeah.
Does Corax know what the speaking stone does? Would he know what that is? That was handed to him by...
Not off the top of your head, you would not know, but you can roll for it.
Okay, I'll roll for that.
He was handed that by the wolf.
That's true, yeah, you were handed by a wolf. Yeah, someone who couldn't tell you what it was.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll roll for that whenever that's available. And then the other question is... it's probably once I know what it is, Corax is going to want to see if there's anyone surrounding Mina that has one on them.
You can yeah, okay. I'll answer that half now because meta-wise you know what it is. You can assume the king has one. 100%. And you have had descriptions of the officers. So essentially you're looking for anyone with like plumage on their head. They would also have one. So we'll say on the next rotation you can roll for that. But we will cut back to Mina. Mina, this is not great. You are surrounded by Jaseth's elite cadre. They are all going to attack you. They are all moving towards you. So it is a speed defense from all, I'll say for 3 of them. The other 2 are moving to flank you. So 3 of them have sort of formed a crescent around you. So that is 3 speed defenses at level 6.
You're muted.
Sorry. Does Mina get his devoted defender asset?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Okay, I'll drop it to 5 because he also gets 2 assets from Wexy's shield.
Okay. Okay, that's 1.
Let's go.
Two. Can he do it, folks? 3. Perfect. So you see these 3 warriors jump down, right? And you've seen sort of the trumped up commanders, and while they have a higher rank in the military and they have they've been afforded better armor, something about the presence of these 5, you understand that these are unlike anyone that you have fought thus far. They are far more well trained. So describe to me how you deftly maneuver out of the way of these 3 attacks.
Yeah, so Mina probably turns his back to the king, which hopefully offends him a little bit. and basically uses each of them to get in each other's way. They're probably more used to fighting one-on-one. They're all trying to advance on Mina at the same time. So he is using his shield and his spear to create instances where they're kind of about to run into each other, or one of their weapons is getting too close to one of the others, so that he can slip close to one of them so he can perform his control the field.
Okay. Yeah, that happens. We'll start back. That was their turn. You move after them. So it is on you. What are you doing? So there are essentially 3 between you and the king, and the other 2 are sort of flanking around to sort of box you in.
Yeah. So Mina turns towards one of the ones behind him that's between him and one of their mounts, and he tries to use control the field to swap spots with that one, and then try to mount his.
Now, is control the field automatic, or is it a roll with that one?
So it's a roll to see whether he hits, but the effect is automatic whether he hits or not.
Okay, then it is difficulty 5. Oof. Okay, so you still move him, though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you dash out at this guy with your spear. Maybe the move is telegraphed in a way, right? So you dash out with your spear in a way that you want him to jump in the opposite direction of where you're lunging, so it creates just enough of a gap for you to move. Cool. So that it swaps your position with him, right?
So I can essentially place him anywhere I want him to be.
Okay.
And in this instance, I'm trying to swap spots with him, so there's no one between him and one of the beasts.
Great. Cool. As Trevor likes to point out, I'm very lenient with the rules of this game, and apparently you cannot move and attack at the same time, despite us been doing that forever. So I'm just going to head again and keep doing that. So you stabbed this guy, repositioned him, and you want to charge for his mount?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You will do so, and we will see what happens at the start of the next turn. Seydlitz, you are back at the top of the crenellations. You have a crossbow. Antares and Corax, you see him carrying a tiny ballista just up there. It is probably like 4 feet long. So like, 1.5 meters, I think, in Imperial units. As he brings this huge thing up there, the arrows are easily like the size of 3 longbow arrows together, as he brings this thing up there. Seydlitz, what are you doing with this tiny ballista?
Is there an obvious spot Seydlitz could put it just to make it so he can have a good line of fire just in case he needs it?
Yeah, I mean, you can put it anywhere. So the thing is, this is not designed for the wall, so there's not like a place to put it. These are designed for like large Imperial caravans to have like mounted on the actual wagons to deter bandits. So it's not really used for what you're going to use it for, but you can just sort of like put it on one of the like crenellations of the wall and fire it from there if you so choose. But you can just put it down on top of it. It won't like tip over.
Say this is just going to manhandle this ballista and fire it whenever he needs to.
I love that. Cool. So you're just sort of getting this ready. You're getting it sighted in. Antares, what are you doing?
She doesn't take her eyes off Mina, and like Corax, her prayers and her demeanor is becoming more and more agitated. She's probably like gripping the thing and like rocking back and forth a little bit, and she's like standing up trying to see, and she is, come on, Mina, come on. And then she's just praying to him. I was gonna pray to God, but it's like she's,
I mean,
Yeah, her prayers are coming a little bit more frantic and a little bit more desperate now. And she kind of mutters like, it's not gonna be enough.
Okay. Are you actively trying to look to see what he's doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that
If I
same.
need to.
Yep, that same roll.
If I need to roll, it was 6, you said?
7.
Or 7? 7. 7. Failure.
Okay. So you see slightly more than you had previously. At this point, you see that there is a scuffle that has broken out, and you can see that Mina is engaged in some level of combat happening here. Korax, what are you doing? Oh, good, good.
Oh, she just like looking. She's like, "What are you doing?" That's it.
Okay. Korax, what are you doing?
I think Korax continues with his agitation, and he's fidgeting because he's getting more annoyed, and he feels the stone that the wolf gave him from Seydlitz.
Mm-hmm.
He will pull it out and try to figure out what it is, or try and understand it.
Go ahead and roll me a difficulty. Actually, can you just beat a difficulty 2 intelligence roll?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you look at this and you know that it is a sending stone. It is essentially a two-way communication device. Your best guess is that there is some sort of like pre-fall level of magic entwined in this, forming some sort of sending network that this would probably go out to everyone with one in a localized area.
Okay. In that case, Korax would pick it up, and he would look and focus on the person that Mina has moved. So who's the person? So from my understanding is you've got most of the enemies, Mina, and then the mount that Mina's going for. And the guy that Mina has swapped places with to get close to the mount, Korax is going to look and focus on him, and he's going to use authority, law, and peace. You prevent a foe that can hear and understand you from attacking anyone or anything for 1 round. And he hopes that that person can hear him through the stone.
Interesting.
Like
I like that too. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say, because that's cool. There's no associated roll with that, right? You just spend points?
It just spends points, and I've got 3 edge, so it costs me nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll something. If you pass the roll, it does exactly what you said. If you fail the roll, someone around Mina freezes. Because you're essentially trying to long range this through a radio and be like, by the power of God, stop! So I'm going to say, this is going to be, you know what, Chris, I'm going to give you a choice. Difficulty 5, and it will only affect the cadre members. Difficulty 7, and you have a chance to affect the king.
He would be going for the cadre members.
Okay,
as far as he has seen, the king isn't doing anything. The king is, in Korax's mind, no threat to Mina at the moment.
That's fair. Then it'll be difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5. They're not God, so that doesn't help. I'm going to run out of...
Yeah, I don't think anything helps you here other than spending effort. Success. Literally the number you needed to beat. Outstanding. Okay, cool. So you hit that target number. Mina, you shift this around, you switch positions, and you begin to sprint. And it feels almost too easy. And as you grab the neck heraldry of the of this mount, and then you grab the ass end of the saddle and hoist yourself up, sticking a foot in the stirrup and sort of throwing yourself over, you see that the closest person to you is in full stop motion run, and has stopped frozen solid. You have seen that happen before, but Korax seems to be nowhere near you. But you see that the other two that were closer to you are making a move towards you, and the two that were flanking are sort of readjusting, and they are moving back towards you. The counter has moved down to 4. Mina, top of the order here. You have successfully mounted this thing. What are you doing?
Mina is going to try to get it to run towards the wall and take out as many soldiers along the way.
Okay. So here's what's working against you. 1, this is a trained beast of war that you have just hijacked. 2, you are actively running through a field of combatants who want to kill you. 3, I don't know that you know how to ride a raptor. If you do...
Absolutely does not.
Okay,
know
great.
how to ride a raptor.
It's like a bike.
Yeah. Once
doesn't
you
know how
learn
to
it,
very
why not
angry
forget?
bite.
Gee.
It's a very angry bike that wants to eat you.
But if you've never learned to ride a raptor...
He's ridden in carts.
Yeah. So those
by these
3
things.
things are working against you. So I'm going to make this... it's going to move, regardless of what you roll. So this is essentially a animal handling check or a ride check. I'm going to say with those 3 things counting against you, this is going to be difficulty 7. You can either roll intelligence to coax it to do what you want. You can roll strength to muscle it, like to break like a wild horse to do what you want. Or you can roll speed to try to just make it go straight, and you're just gonna do like the leaning and as best you can to just bob and weave through crowds. So difficulty 7, you can choose what you're rolling here.
He'll go with might because that's his best chance. Any assets from the devoted defender on Samora?
I will say the devoted defender will give you an asset for this whole thing.
Success.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Okay, great.
Hooray!
Great. A success, a 17. Cool. Okay, so you mount this raptor, and you just instinctively grab reins because you've seen it happen before. You've seen people drive carts, and you sort of like whack the reins down, and this thing rears up a little bit, and you kind of have to hold on and like squeeze your legs together as this thing starts to like take off, and this thing moves like an ostrich. It's like doo, 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 like the legs are going fast, Roadrunner fast. As this thing begins to move, you hear shouts from behind you as the remaining cadre immediately begin to mount theirs as well. You hear shouts from in front of you as the soldiers, completely not expecting a raptor to be tearing through, begin to dive out of the way. And Terry's, with your previous terrible rolls, you can see just something happening where like it's not so much parting anymore as it is crumbling in a direction that is pointing directly towards the wall. You're not sure what's happening, but people are falling and moving out of the way, and it's a very, very big hullabaloo that's happening here. With a second glance behind you, Mina, 4 of the cadre are hot on your tail, but the furthest person to you, or the closest person to you, rather, is the king. He is maybe 10 feet behind you, and you can see that his raptor is not big for show. It is built for speed and combat, and this thing is gaining on you. So that is your action, is speed away on a fucking war raptor. We'll jump back, and Terry's, Seydlitz, Korax, what are the 3 of you doing?
I don't think, and Terry's is not going to be changing what she's doing unless, yeah.
Okay.
For now, yeah, she's not going to be doing anything different.
In that case, make that same roll, and we'll see if you can see more than what you have previously.
Nope.
Nope. No. You see slightly less than before. Yeah. So you see that there is something happening in a big way. Again, people are like falling. You think that there's something that's moving through the crowd at a fast rate of speed that's making people dive out of the way. So you essentially see like this like oval where you think Mina was just slowly pushing through like an arrow. Start happening.
Yes, I see a little bit more chaos happening, and I think Mina's doing something.
Doing something, that's for sure. Seydlitz and Corex. Oh, good. What are the two of you doing?
I'm assuming Seydlitz at one point got the message that they're holding fire for something, so he's just kind of leaning on this new toy, waiting for that moment.
I mean, the archers are doing archery. Anyone that is in close enough range, the southern army that you are facing is the furthest away. They haven't gotten into range yet, but the other people to your east and west and to the north of the city, so behind you, are all firing at the incoming troops. Your fuckery and the bear set the southern troops back a bunch, so they're like the slowest group right now. And Antares, I don't think Antares has a long weapon. And you haven't seen Korax cast a spell since he made that dragon appear and then got sucked into hell by the Rakshasa Queen. So he hasn't done much recently. So no one's holding anything. The archers around you are knocked and ready, and they just don't have anything to aim for yet.
Well, I guess in Seydlitz would. I'm assuming I have the better range with this.
Yeah. With the swivel ballista, yeah, for sure you do.
I'm just going to do a ranging shot then.
Okay.
Fire into the group, see if I hit anything, basically, and see where it lands.
Great. Just roll me a 0 with this thing, and it's going to count as a heavy weapon. So a heavy is, I think, 6 damage. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a speed attack with this.
I guess I'll just roll speed for this point because I don't have it in my weapon slot. Or do I just roll crossbow?
You could just roll crossbow. I don't think it won't change anything.
Nice. I have a divine shift for that, so.
Oh yeah, I mean you can reallocate your divine shift into the. Okay, so you rolled a 5. That beats difficulty 1. Okay, yeah, so you arc this thing back. You lean on the ass end of it, and you pull this like double-handed trigger, right? Or this double thumb trigger, and this thing launches off. And actually, like the ballista topples down, launches with so much force. You see this arrow spiral through the sky and just hit the ground, and troops dive out of the way. So you know the range of it is able to hit troops, which means you have farther range than anyone else, but you did not actually hit anybody with that low of a roll. So you, Corax and Antares, you see this cannon, this ballista fire this massive arrow out towards them, hitting nothing. A plume of dust comes up. Corax, what are you doing?
So Mina's coming towards us with the king in tow. Are they inside of the circle?
They are not yet. They have not broken the rank of soldiers. So the first soldier in the south has not stepped across the first line of like your archery targets. The other ones have. They are crossing into the line. In fact, they are at the second stone in.
Okay, and how close is Mina to that first line? Basically, how...
Let's see.
Would Mina make it in the next round to within...
Here's what I'll say.
Dry land.
Here's what I'll say. Mina could make it in the next round if, 1, he succeeds on that same roll, and 2, he doesn't get stopped by something else.
Okay. There's no point Corax getting ready. Okay, he'll wait.
Okay.
He's going to be watching Mina. And not necessarily praying to Mina, but praying for Mina to actually make it.
Okay.
He's waiting. Corax is waiting for both Mina and the king to be on dry land, close to the city. That's what he's waiting for.
Okay. So Here's what I'll say. Actually, let me do fun math here. This number divided by this. Okay, cool. So the farthest away stone is 300 meters. The average high distance range for a English longbow. The second stone is minus 75 meters, and each stone thereafter is the same. When we tick down from 5 to 4, we were at 225. We're ticking down again. We're now at 150. So the north, south, and east are at 150. 2 more ticks, and they will be at the gates. Cool. So we are now down to 3 on that thing. And they are pushing closer and closer. We go back to Mina. Mina, the king is hot on your heels. Behind him are 4 of the elite cadre. You still hear prayers coming in. You've sort of tuned into Korax based on a previous role. He is no longer demanding you do things and praying that you hurry up.
Mina's praying that he hurries up too.
Same roll. It's going to be difficulty 7. Whatever stat you want to use. And for all the same reasons.
I'd like to argue that since Korax is now praying for him, not to him, he could get an asset to this role because he's praying for him to succeed, like to hurry the fuck up. So I think that should give him an asset.
I like your line of thought. If you can tell me which god he's praying to make that happen.
Has to be the god of bros, right?
Korax just holds up his
Korax are
fist.
bros, so it's like a bro thing.
Come on, bro. You can do it.
The closest thing you have right now that you know of is the god of the hunt. And I don't think that is going to be what gets him to spur faster. So I like the argument. However, if one of you were perhaps the god of animals, or, you know, the god of racing, could be.
There's still time.
God of convenient plot points.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No luck.
Okay. Do you want to spend an XP?
I have no XP to spend.
Oof.
I don't think any of us have any XP.
Interesting.
I have an XP to spend, if you'll take it, Mike.
If you want to spend an XP for him to re-roll, you can do so.
Yeah, I'll spend an XP for Mina to reroll.
I'll happily
I need him to
whittle
succeed
down
and
your
hurry up.
resources. Yeah.
There's a whole city about to die.
I will happily whittle down your resources, guys.
No. Even worse.
Okay. So, do I... No. Cool. That's that. So the king gains on you. And you hear the thundering claw beats of his beast behind you. And you, I think you kind of had a similar impression as Korax did, as the king is not a threat to you. He's more of like a station. But the way he is bounding after you has given you a little bit of pause and concern. And as he approaches, you can feel it. This is a... It creeps up over you, right? Like from like the small of your back, that sort of like spine tingle, and then the hairs on the back of your neck rise as you feel this pit in your stomach drop. The king has an aura of dread. That means that you have a penalty, a -1 penalty to all tasks while within a short range of him. So everything becomes one step harder now that he is near you. He gets up to you and you see him like one hand on the reins, and he's sort of like jockeyed up where he's like almost half standing on this thing. And he's like pumping his legs to make it go faster, and he swings. You realize that the last second he's not actually swinging the saber at you, but he arcs it like over your head, looks behind him, pointing at the cadre, and he says, "To me, you fools!" And you see all of them sort of stand up the same way and start to move faster. The king also has a commanding presence. They all gain a +1 to their shit. While in his presence. So you see them boom, 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 begin to move much faster towards you. That is the consequences of failing that roll. We cut back across the battlefield. Korax, you see this happening. You're watching this with that tunnel vision. Everyone is closing in on him. And Terry's this chaos happening all around you. And say that you have knocked a new one of these these bolts essentially, and have gone through the process of cranking this thing back, which essentially is like imagine like a ship's turn wheel, like a ship's helm. It's like you're cranking this thing back to lock it into place. What are the three of you doing? I like the concern on everyone's face.
Don't all answer at once.
Well, Jean knows what she's going to do, but it's not. I don't think it's time yet. So
okay.
Yeah, like they're so far away. Like there's no way could even like conceivably jump down and like run over there, because that's essentially what she has to do. You know. So
here's what I'll say: for the thing that you're talking about vaguely, you don't have to be present.
Well, I know that.
Okay.
I know that. But Terry's is not gonna, like, she doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are over 300 meters away, which is an extreme distance.
Silly question.
Yeah.
Can I shoot the crossbow bolt behind Mina's mount to scare it to run towards the wall?
I think it's already coming this way.
To scare it to go even faster.
You can try. I'll say if you succeed, you'll give Mina a bonus to his next roll. The difficulty would be the difficulty will be 6 to not hit Mina. Yeah. Because essentially he's running generally at you. So you're essentially trying to get this thing as close to but behind Mina as possible without hitting him. So difficulty 6 on Swivel Ballista.
Hold on. I have a few sake of arguments then. Where did I put those? Can I apply my obviously I only have one divine shift in it, but can I apply that to the ballista?
Yeah, you have your bow shift. Yeah, you can switch it up.
Right, so that's a 5.
And this still counts as archery. So if you have points in archery, it still counts.
The other points are in dexterity. So
gotcha.
Just trying to figure out what I want to do. So 6. Divine shift is 5. I'm going to throw that at it. That's a 19.
Hell yeah. Cool. Okay, so that absolutely happens. And I will say, as a minor effect, it hits in just the right place to push King Jath's mount just far enough back that your next roll not only has a bonus of the +1 asset, but it doesn't have the -1. You are just outside of that short range. Cool. So that is your minor effect from that. Good move. And Terry's and Korax, what are you doing?
I would like to use my action to do a recovery roll, because Korax is just waiting now for me now.
Okay.
That's all he's doing. Nice.
Nice.
Okay. And Antares?
Pray harder.
At this point, you can see the chaos erupting, and you can make an assumption that it is Mina, a pretty solid assumption. If you'd like to roll to see what you can see, or just you can also spend a recovery roll if you have one.
My recovery roll is an hour, so.
Oh, okay, you're all the way up there. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we are.
I'll make the roll on mine as well. They're not any closer though to lower my difficulty.
No, it's the chaos of what's happening is what's making it difficult.
Failed.
Okay. Again, you see the same thing. Is you can see that Mina is mounted and is fleeing towards the wall. That's all you can tell. Not sure who's chasing him, what's chasing him, if the soldiers are trying to pull him down. But we tick down one more time. The forces in the north, east, and west are 75 meters away from the wall. The Faxus Rama's city guard are peppering them with arrows. Their shields are up. They're forming that turtle formation where shields are front. The next guy's line of shields are behind as they are moving toward the walls here. Cool. That goes over to Mina. Mina, you have that same difficulty 7 roll. You have an asset for that in addition to whatever else you would like to spend. And you don't have a -1. Success.
Nice.
Okay. What would you like for a minor effect here?
How close is Mina to the dry area that Corax is talking about?
You're charging into the wet area. So with this roll, you are going to cross the 300 meter, moving at a high rate of speed. On the next success, you'll be at the wall.
So if Mina is past the squelchy area and into the dry area, he will use that bonus to pull up just outside of the squishy area, pull up the lizard and kind of stop it at that exact spot.
Okay, so I want to make sure, Chris, only a certain patch, right? So like the furthest away ring.
It's a wet ring.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. We'll say you have made it from the 300 to like the 225 meter range, right? You pull up, and you rear this thing in a taunt. Is there anything you say with this taunting rear as your minor effect?
Mina just looks straight at the king and says, Samora is under our protection. Turn around and you'll be saved.
You see him like rattle the saber at the ass end of this beast, and he sprints faster towards you, ready to charge directly into you. The king and the 4 cadre have crossed into the squelchy area. The other forces have not, like the people on foot have not. And obviously the other people around on the other sides have. That jumps us back to the other 3, Corax, Antares, Seydlitz. Corax, you know that Mina is at least inside the ring.
Perfect. Corax now steps up onto the crenellations and gets himself to the highest point he can so that he is visible by as many people as he can be.
Yeah.
His nimbus blazes as bright as he can. He kind of focuses on that. And as his sort of cloak catches in the wind, his books start to slip out of his cloak and start to swirl around him. He does this to make as big a show as possible of what he's doing. And eventually he brings out one hand and holds it out. And the book, the Grimoire of Dreams, stops over his hand. He looks through the page, recites the message again in his head, holds his hand out, and he is going to cast Fire Bloom on the king, on the squelchy area. And he hopes that he doesn't waste someone else's divine shift for that.
Yeah, buddy. Is there an associated role with this? Or does it just happen?
There is. So it fills an area of 10 feet radius, inflicting 3 points of damage on all affected targets. Even on an unsuccessful attack, a target in the area takes 1 point of damage.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and make the roll. If you're aiming at the king, difficulty 7.
He's aiming at the king.
Let's
Difficulty
go.
7. I'm going to... effort applied to one attack accounts for all attacks against the fox. Okay. So I'm going to use 2 effort. My divine shifts are an intelligence. Crafting tasks, no, it doesn't account. Damage, no. Failure.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Roll me a d20.
One d20.
Okay. So, a number of things happen. You summon this fire out of this grimoire of dreams. This ember blooms in your hand, right? We see like this seed almost start to like grow and swell and spiral and arc in the same kind of way like you see like a solar flare arc. They're arcing in tandem with your books swirling around you as if your books are part of this solar flare, and you launch this and it grows and grows as it gets there, and you see it pummel into the ground right between where Mina is and the king is. Immediately you feel power drain from the book, but not all of it. Whatever Vishaden did, the book is no longer inert. His divine shift has been returned to him. The book has regained its ability. So the book is still usable. You see, Antares, Seydlitz, you see this fireball just swelling like a Dragon Ball Z spirit bomb. Hits the ground, and you see it hit and then almost like melt or like fall apart and disintegrate, and you see in the smoke between them, you see where Korax was aiming, and you see Jathus just rears his horse and sort of skids as this thing hits, and you see it like dissipate, like falling over itself, tessellating, if you will, and it like melts into the grass, and then you see a spark, and all at once the ground erupts in fire, and spreading in 2 directions, it just around as it forms a massive ring of fire 300 meters out, surrounding the entirety of the city in a moat of magical alchemical flame. You see it start to emerge as like these reds and oranges and yellows, and then it boils to this yellow, and then it turns to this twisting green as it the same color as all of the vials on the arrows that had been being shot out at the onset of the battle. You hear screams in every direction as the soldiers who were still moving through on the north, the west, and the east are engulfed in fire. You hear horns blare for retreat as about half of the armies on those 3 cardinal directions are starting to pull back. Some of them are on fire, but about half the armies have made it through. You hear whistle blasts and horns from inside the city as the 3 mercenary companies begin to surge out of the gate, meeting the Chryserians on the field of battle. And you see, Mina, you see through these green flames, the king leaps with its raptor over this, flames licking up this thing. You see pieces of his like pants and his cape take flame, and followed by 4 The elites have jumped through the same thing, each of them landing and like patting off flames. They've all taken 1 damage from their fire that is eaten by their armor, and so no damage for them. But you have separated. The entire southern army is on the other side of the fire. You see, Mina, you are facing down against the king and his 4 elite cadre. And Terriers, you see all of this. Seydlitz, you see all of this. And you just saw Korax light up an entire fucking huge-ass spell, which was the biggest spell you've seen him do.
And Terry's like, bro.
Vishaden pops him out of his tower and like looks down.
Yes.
He takes his sunglasses from behind his head and puts them in the front.
He goes like that with his head and the sunglasses.
His pit vipers fall down. Yeah, perfect. You see this all happen, and Terriers and Seydlitz, what are you doing?
So is all the balefire erupting now?
Oh yeah, an entire like ring of fire is around the city.
Okay.
A firewall.
And on our side, there's nothing on the inside of that.
On the southern side where you're facing, the king and his cadre are there. On the other side, the north, east, and west, there's about half of the military forces are inside the ring.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were far closer, and so about half their forces has made it beyond that 300-meter ring. So half are still outside, half are inside.
And where is Mina? I'm sorry. Where
Mina
is he?
is in the south. You're facing him. He is inside the ring of fire with the king and his 4 cadre.
I think she's just gonna keep praying for now.
He is about 200 meters away from you. This Mina man.
Okay.
Too far for you to run to him this round, but he is about 200 meters away from where you are.
Okay.
Okay. Seydlitz, what do you do? Fire erupts in a ring around everything. You hear screaming from the other directions. You see that the army on the south has been cut off. What are you doing?
I'm going to try a very risky shot. As one of the cadre, I'm going to try to catch one of the cadre as they jump through. Basically, as soon as they land, I'm going to try to hit them.
Great. Roll me a difficulty. They are within the bounds of the king. So they all have a... no, they only have a bonus to their attack. Cool. So go ahead and roll me a difficulty 5.
That's a 4 with Divine Shift. So 1 after 12, so 3. 15.
Okay. So you, and I will say this, what did I say? This deals, let me see. I think, is heavy
You said
8?
6.
I think heavy is 8. Heavy weapon Cypher. I'm pretty sure it's
Heavy weapon 6.
It's 6? Okay, cool. So you load this thing and the last one, like you watch the other 3 like leap in, and you load to where the last one is and you fire this thing and you catch him the moment both of the raptor feet hit the ground and you peg him right in like the low below his right side of his ribs. Just this thing, you can see it pierce directly into him, and you hear this bellow from 200 meters away as it takes 6 points of damage, minus its
Seydlitz is shouting at the soldiers to get him some of those alchemist fire vials.
It is safe to assume they are all expended at this point. They have been the entire time you guys have been dicking about starting this war. They have been peppering the ground with them for this moment here. So let's see. Cadre. 1, 2, 3, 4, and king. So you take 6 points of damage minus his armor. That is a number. Great. So you fire that into this guy. That is Seydlitz's turn. And Terriers, were you doing anything before I jump back to Mina?
Not at this moment.
Okay. We cut back up to Mina. Korax, you can assume the fire has gone off, but again, half of the troops are inside. They are now engaged in melee combat with the soldiers at the gates. Mina, the army has been severed, has been cut off by this fire. You are facing the king, 4 of his cadre, and you just saw a very large arrow just stick into one of them.
Yeah, Mina has that oh shit moment where he didn't expect them to jump over the fire. And he just tries to spur this lizard back onto the wall, back towards the wall.
Back towards the wall? Okay. Same check then. It's going to be difficulty 7. No added bonus from Seydlitz this time. And I'll say you're still just outside the -1. If you fail this, you'll be at the -1 again.
Another success.
Hell yeah. You immediately wheel this raptor around and you start again charging. Perhaps even you've seen how they ride theirs when they're trying to go faster, and you sort of do that half squat, that like jockey position. And you actually see that where the stirrups are, above them, there are 2 metal pegs for you to like step out of the stirrups and onto those. And so you realize that's what those are for. And you have that same sort of crouch stance as you start jockeying this raptor towards the wall. Korax and Terry, so that you see Mina wheel around and start to sprint as fast as possible towards the wall. What are the 3 of you doing?
Korax is still got his book up in front of him, and he's going to cast a different spell from that, Arcane Flare. I mean, there's no cost to it, but yeah, it's a single person attack. If it hits, it'll be 4 points of damage.
Okay, who are you aiming for?
He's going to be aiming for... Who's the closest to Mina?
The king.
Is it the king? He's going to be aiming for the king.
Okay, difficulty 7.
Difficulty 7. Let's go with efforts, why not?
Okay.
Failure.
Okay. So this is you said arcane, was it blast?
Arcane Flare.
Okay. So that's the same kind of thing, right? You raise your hand and we see this like bright light start to flare as you like chuck this thing, and it just gets brighter and brighter and brighter and misses right by the king's head and sort of hits the ground. We see this like arc of like bright light and electricity sort of dances off of this thing. And then as it dissipates, we see like that it starts as like shadow and then slowly becomes light as the other 4 cadre race through the area that was where you hit. And Terry's, what are you doing? Seydlitz, what are you doing?
Seydlitz is just going to keep shooting.
Okay, go for it. Are you shooting at the king or are you shooting at the...
I am going to keep shooting at his minions.
Okay, go for it.
For it seems Mina wants a one-on-one with the king.
I don't remember Mina ever saying that.
Oh, you didn't say it. Seydlitz is just assuming.
You implied it.
That is a miss.
Okay, again, boom. This thing is hard to aim as it fires boom into the ground right before one of the racing raptors. It sort of like leaps to the side and over it. And Terry's, what are you doing?
Okay, sorry, I got distracted by something. They are not on fire.
No, so it doesn't like set you on fire. Flammable objects catch fire and they just patted themselves out. So they are not on fire. The ground is on fire.
So Mina is in an area that is on fire.
No. There's a ring that's about 75 meters wide that is on fire. All 5 of them are inside where it is no longer on fire.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Outside by the city.
Okay, so he's not on fire.
He is not on fire.
Okay.
Your friends are not on fire.
And they're all on, and he's still on the raptor.
He is also still on a raptor and charging towards the city.
And all 5 of the things, all 5 of the cadre plus Jaceth are hot on his trail.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any ranged weapons to help.
He is coming in fast at the start because you succeeded, right, Norm? At the start of his turn, he will be at the wall.
Hmm. Yeah, she's just willing him to go faster, I guess.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You do so. So Norm, at the start of your turn, you are at the wall.
Yeah, Mina's just hoping that maybe the other archers have started raining arrows down to slow them down, and he is going to look for a way to get either up the wall or through a gate or something like that, just to not die horribly.
The gate is a little bit further south from you and closed. No one was expecting you to charge a raptor through here. But you can see standing at the top are your allies. In fact, you can't miss Korax. He's like semi-floaty. His Nimbus is ablaze, and he's casting spells in your general direction. And as soon as the spells die down, you can see Antares and Seydlitz next to him. I believe Seydlitz is still Nimbus is still ablaze as well.
How tall is the raptor?
The raptor from like toe to head is probably like 8 or 9 feet tall. Where Mina is sitting on, it's probably like 5-ish feet off the ground. And Mina's probably roughly the same size as where its head is, so a little bit below where its head is.
Are there any cranes on the wall that they use to take things up load them onto a wall or anything like that?
I don't
I think those would be internal.
They would be internal, and I don't think so. The walls aren't set with ballistas or things like that. Just archers. So most traffic would come in through the gates. However, your allies have any number of ropes that they want. They've been climbing over walls left and right. So
Yeah.
He will head to the part of the wall that they're at and just hope that someone throws him a
just sort of wave.
I think that's what Antares will do.
Okay. So we'll say that, like, Antares, you saw him coming on your last turn, and you just like grab a coil of rope that's around and just hope it's anchored, and just sort of toss the rope over the edge as it like down.
She will hand if she can't confirm it, she will hold the end to the nearest soldier.
Perfect.
And be like, just to confirm that it's not going to be.
Perfect.
The ground.
Mina, you see a rope sail out and thwack against the side of the wall as you are charging towards it. Like I said, at the start of your turn, you are close enough to be at the wall. If you'd like to leap from your mount and jump to the wall, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that's what Mina will do. He will
Cool.
This is a very anticlimactic fight since we're probably just gonna kill them with ranged weapons.
So you like stand up on those like peg stirrups and you leap off this thing. As soon as you do, like the raptor like wheels off to the side as you fly through the air and grab onto this thing and slowly begin pulling yourself up the wall. Very Princess Bride up the up that cliff, the Wailing Cliffs. As you make your way to the top, you all see one sweaty, dirt-covered hand at the top of this thing, and Mina slowly begins to pull himself up over the edge. Mina, you are there. It is technically the top of this turn. Korax, Antares, and Seydlitz, what are you doing as Mina hoists himself over the edge?
I'm helping to get him up.
Okay.
Is King Jason within short range, Mike?
No.
Still
He is within long range.
Within long range still. Okay. Korax is going to grab another bolt of arcane flare and throw that at King Jason again.
I will say, due to the height difference, unless he is directly at the bottom of the wall, he will not be in short range. Because you're essentially higher than him, so like that sphere, unless you jump down to meet him. So you arcane flare him, so go ahead and roll difficulty 7 on that.
Failure again.
Okay, so again, you send this thing down. We see that bright like flashbang. hit the ground, and you see the other cadre run past him. Korax, you've been very focused on trying to kill the king. I'm going to have you make me an intelligence roll. Difficulty is going to be 7. Intelligence, and you can add whatever the hell you want to it. You have a bunch of intelligence brain stuff.
Is it to do with learning, Mike?
I'll say it's to do with
knowledge.
I'll say it's to do with inferring, which is a subset of learning. So yeah.
Knowledge.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so that's knowledge. Is it to do with gods, Mike?
It is not to do with gods.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So drop it to a 6 and use 2 assets because I can only add 2 assets, unfortunately. Which are my divine shifts.
Nice.
19. Success.
Okay. I don't have a minor effect for this, but I'm open to possible avenues here. He is not slowing down at all. The rate of speed in which he is traveling, he is going to smash directly into the wall. That seems wrong. That's what you infer from this.
Okay.
I have a minor effect, maybe.
Okay.
Depending on what he's going to be doing, Jaseth, Korax can warn the soldiers around so they won't be surprised by whatever he's doing, whatever happens.
Chris has a theory, but I don't know if Korax would jump to the same conclusion that he's going to go straight through the wall.
I'm thinking he's going to jump over the wall. That's where I went with that.
I immediately thought he's gonna like latch onto the wall. The lizard's just gonna climb straight up.
Uh,
I mean, it's a fantasy
Korax-
setting. It would be lizards can cling to cave walls, so
That's true.
Yeah,
I
so
think Korax is just going to turn to the others and say, he's not stopping. He's coming in some way or other. He is coming into the city. Ready your swords. I can't do much more than I've tried.
Okay.
and then there's
Antares, you are. We'll say you throwing the rope was last turn, and at the start of this turn, Mina is like pulling himself up. So is there another action you
Seydlitz
want to
has
take?
directed Raiden to help Antares pull Mina up.
Okay. Mina is up, so the two of you can have a full action this turn. Mina's role was to get up, so that was his action.
and then she's gonna hear Korax's warning, and then she is gonna double down to the others, to the soldiers, and go, prepare yourself for battle, close quarters. And she's gonna draw her sword and be ready for whatever this fucker is gonna be doing.
Okay. Seydlitz?
I'm just. Does it look like his retinue is doing the same thing?
They are not moving at the same rate of speed.
One more question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Is he coming directly towards Korax in line, or is he slightly off? Is he heading basically where Mina went up?
Yes.
Okay.
Seydlitz. The archers, I will say, are archering.
Seydlitz is unsure if he has enough time to move the crossbow. It's like get it off the wall where it could use it as a point blank weapon.
I will say this: if you attempt to use it at a point blank, the angle at which you'll have to point it down to fire it, if you miss, you will risk dropping it.
That's what I'm worried about.
The kick is that much, and it is that heavy that if you miss, you will drop it down over the wall.
think Seydlitz is just gonna take a casual shot at the retinue again,
Okay. Difficulty 5.
and then figure out what he wants to do afterwards.
Okay. Difficulty 5 for the cadre.
+1 divine shift. That's a fail. Figures.
Negative. Okay.
Dice, don't kill me now. Come on.
Right.
You killed
cool.
me 2 episodes ago.
So, the top of the round, we go back to Mina. Mina, you are there. All of your allies are with you. Seydlitz has a fucking tiny ballista, and a much bigger wolf, than you remembered. You remember seeing it charge towards you. Apparently, it is Seydlitz's, as it is tugging the rope, as Antares, like, claps you around like the forearm and helps to pull you up. And you see you see Corax is quickly spinning through pages of his grimoire, looking for a spell to cast. Mina, what are you doing?
Mina's just panting from the exertion of getting on top of the wall. He'll do a quick recovery, but as he does it, he'll just look up at Antares and go, "You prayed to me."
Everyone did.
I
You
know,
made it.
I was there.
You're still alive. We're not going to die today, my friend.
Even Seydlitz prayed to me.
Even the
Korax
Shaden prayed to you.
Yeah.
You see, like, any of the city guards that recognize that it's you. Obviously, you just ran across an entire field and then ran through an army and then rode through an army. You are covered in, like, dirt. It's caked on. Like, you can see, like, the squint lines are the cleanest part of you, from just, like, closing your eyes and hoping for the best. As soon as anyone realizes that it's you, there are cheers that sort of erupt among the city guard as the general they just prayed to, defender of Samora, has returned safely to them. You muster to your feet, expend that 1 round healing action, and Corax, ever the sarcastic worrywart. I imagine there's just like an underpin of, he's not stopping. He's still coming. Hey, everybody. And you see Japheth is again in that like high mount position, and he is tight on the reins, like near the nearest the neck of this beast, as he is going, and you see him reach back with his free hand and sort of reach forward and grab something around his neck. And Corax, you see like it erupts from like his like shoulder blades, this billowing fabric, this like sheen of black just sort of flutters out, almost like if Batman had an extending cape, right? Imagine that. It's like unfurls, very Spawn-like. This like cascading black liquid, sort of, and then completely enshrouds him and this mount. As you see seconds later, he collides with the wall and passes through it. The wall is perfectly intact. He becomes ethereal. And you see him as you like look down and you just follow through with your gaze, and you see that same shimmering darkness out the other side of the stairs that you've been up and down as he is charging through the streets. You know that he is headed straight for the castle. He is passing through buildings.
Oh, fuck.
Korax would turn where he stands on the wall, and he would throw another attack and just shout, "He's inside," as he does.
Go for it. Difficulty is still 7.
Difficulty 7.
Do we see this, or only Corax is seeing him?
Corax is the most paying attention to him, whereas, like, Antares, you were helping Mina up, and saying that you were trying to fire. Perfect. What are you casting? Arcane Flare. Okay, so we
Arcane
have...
Flare.
What do we have? 4 damage, plus an additional 2 damage here, because of that. Cool. This arcane flare, again, you throw it and it smashes into him where you're expecting it to not even make contact. It hits him, and like the light burst almost dissipates this shadow cloak as you can kind of see him beneath it. but you see a lot of that magical energy absorb, unless, of course, your spell says ignores armor. No, okay. So you see a bunch of it absorbed by whatever King Jason has, whether it's this cloak, whether it's something else, as he has 5 points of armor. So that is a total of 6 damage, so he takes 2 of it.
I think seeing that, Korax jumps down and starts to run into the city.
Okay. So Antares, Mina, and Seydlitz, you see him like shout that he's in the city, cast a magic spell into the city, and then you see him leap off of the wall and start to run into the city. Seydlitz, I'll say because you were the one most watching over the wall, you see that in a much similar fashion, the 4 cadre are up on the high stance, and you see them reach towards like a satchel, like towards their ass, and they all begin to pull out grapples as they begin to like throw them up as they are trying to get a grapple onto the wall to pull themselves up a similar way to the way Mina did. So you see that, say that's how do you respond to it? You also hear what Korax just did.
Seydlitz is going to yell out the fact they're about to grapple, and basically he's going to yell the soldiers to cut them as soon as they land.
Okay. Is there an action you're going to take as well? I'll say that's like a free action.
Seydlitz cannot leave Korax alone, so he's going to try to hoist this ballista back into the wall and run after Korax with it.
Okay. You're going to take the big ballista?
If Raiden will help him carry it, he will happily take it.
I will say he can help you carry it. But shooting it from the hip is going to be detrimental. It's going to make everything 1 step more difficult to shoot, like just holding it freehand. It's like the guy in Predator with the minigun. It's just like, mm-hmm. That's you essentially. So Antares, Mina, you see Seydlitz shout something and then leap off with his wolf and that giant ballista and follow.
And this
Korax.
comically large weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the flash of light from the arcane flare catches both of their attentions. And then Antares would be like, we're not done yet, friend. And she's going to grab him by like the shoulder and help him up. And then they're going to, Antares is going to chase after them.
Okay. Mina, are you coming with?
Yeah, Mina will, after getting over the shock of Korax running, Mina will follow along behind Antares.
Okay. So the 4 of you have essentially leapt from the walls and are chasing on foot. Mina, you know just how fast these raptors are, and Korax, you see it walking through buildings. It is taking the straightest line, given that Jesus knows the city. It is taking the straightest line to the castle. You assume directly to the queen. So the 3 of you are chasing Korax, and probably the fastest you've ever seen Korax move, as he is trying to use all of his knowledge of the city to find the shortest path through alleyways, tight squeezes, whatever, all headed in the direction of the castle.
Do we pass Shaiden's tower along the way?
Technically not on the way, but it is in the temple district, which is if you're in the south, it's towards the east, so you kind of it's there.
Is it closer than the castle?
It's in the different direction, but yes.
Mina will just look at Antares and said, maybe Shaiden can get us there faster. We won't catch him.
I don't know how he's going to do that, but so you want to go to you're intending to go to his temple, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have a successful means of communication that you've been using. You're not sure if it works, but
Oh yeah. We just fire a prayer off to him. That's what she's gonna do. She's gonna change her prayer to Vishaden and go and she's gonna say, Vishaden, Jesus is in the city. He's cloaked and he's able to pass right through buildings. He's heading straight for the castle. We're on foot.
You feel a ripple beneath your feet, and the road that the three of you are on, and eventually Korax as well, the roads you're all on begin to be people movers, and like the cobblestones like sort of ripple and begin to move towards this thing. So the roads are moving you towards the castle at an accelerated rate. So essentially,
Hail the bro! She yells.
So essentially, you are moving twice as fast. Still not exactly as fast as the raptor, given that it can pass through buildings, and you still have to go around them. But you are going twice as fast as you were before. So we'll say, as you all arrive to the castle, you have no idea what's happening. The sounds of war are everywhere. But as you arrive, castle guards dead. The 4, 6, 10 people that are normally outside, all dead. On the ground, you see what are they called? Sleen, the snake people, they're dead. You see a couple of Terran also dead, with their like sashes over their eyes. You see a Knight of Redemption, also dead. Sorry, buddy. Not everyone survives the war. And the trail leads in. The castle is quiet. It seems as though whatever guards would be defending are either dead or engaged in combat in some recess of the castle. All of the castle staff have been moved out of here, and this is the quietest you've ever seen the castle. It is quite eerie, as normally it is a hustling, bustling place of activity in recent months. But you all sort of arrive there as Korax's side alley sort of comes as you guys hit the main road, and you all sort of arrive together to see this mass of destruction.
Shit. And we know where Etain was holding up.
Yeah.
Like in the room.
Yep, in the throne room. It's the largest, most defensible, thick-walled area of the castle.
Okay. I guess we should start heading that way. That's where Antares is going to go.
Okay. Do all of you follow?
Mina follows, but he will try a quick prayer to Arua, and he doesn't know if she can hear him, but he'll just say, I hope you're safe.
Okay. Cool. You all spring into action, running through the castle. Again, this is a scene of it's a graveyard in here. Every once in a while, you'll see a city guard. You'll see a castle guard. The armor varies between the two of them. Antares, 2 of the Knights of Redemption were sent to protect Dreshen and the adherents.
Yeah.
The majority of them were sent to the South Gate with Darren Hargreaves. At least one is here in the castle. How many would you have put at the castle?
Half.
Okay, so
there was 25.
There was 25 minus the 2, so that brings us to 23, so half. So we'll say 12 or 11. We'll say 11 were in the castle.
Okay.
Okay. Here is what I would like. I would like you to roll me.
I've named them all, Michael.
I love that for you.
So you know the name of the one that you saw that was dead.
I love that for you.
Sorry, I should have 34.
34.
I have my list. Yeah.
Why do I only have 25 on my list?
I don't know.
It's because you couldn't think of 34 names.
I didn't name any of them. I named 2 of them. The 2 that were sent to protect... 35. And 2 of them were sent. So 33 divided by So 15.
Well, 12, okay, 15, sure.
Okay, cool. So then here's what I need you to do. 15 makes it worse. I need you to roll, and this is going to take a minute. So you go ahead and start rolling this.
Am I rolling 15 times?
You're going to roll 15 times, G.
Oh
and you're
my
going to roll high is they live, low is they don't. So for every number 10 and under, they die.
Am I just
for every
rolling
number, just a d20. Just roll all 15 of them. I'll keep track. Don't you worry. You guys sprint through the castle, making your way through the halls, eventually into the war room, which directly connects into the throne room. The path of death is sort of like, it's not the same path you're taking, because whatever is happening with Jason, he is still walking through walls. That's a lot of low numbers. As you make your way through there, you see, let's see here, so many.
3.
You see dozens of guards dead. You see, a scullery maid is down here, just caught off guard. And you hear the sounds of combat coming from the throne room.
There's 7 dead.
What are you doing? You hear sounds of combat coming from the throne room.
We head that way.
You're in the war room. Like the other side of the door is the throne room. Are you bursting in? Are you formulating a plan?
Oh.
Seydlitz is kicking the door in.
Okay. Seydlitz runs up. Right in the wolf is hoisting up half of this thing. As Seydlitz just wheels back and kicks the door down. The door swings in on its hinges, and you see 8 of the remaining Knights of Reconciliation. Oh, sorry, Knights of Redemption are facing off against the lone King Jaseth. As the Queen is sort of. Actually, I'm sorry. 6 of the remaining are facing off against Jaseth, while 2 of them have taken Etain away and are defending her in case the other 6 fall. Jaseth is holding his own against 6 Knights of Redemption. Do with that information what you will.
All right, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how screwed are we?
Hi, Mike.
Hey, buddy.
Korax is going to cast a spell that succeeds, and doesn't cost me anything to do.
Okay.
Which is to stop Jason from attacking anyone for 1 round.
Okay. Is there a roll? I forget that fucking spell. Every time I forget that spell.
Yep. You prevent a foe that can hear and understand you from attacking anyone or anything for 1 round. It just costs an action and 3 intellect points, but I have 3 edge.
Okay. Perfect. So you see him like swinging towards a knight, and he locks up. What do the rest of you do?
Mina charges in for an attack.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead and roll. It's difficulty 7.
Miss.
Abject failure. You his armor eats up all of his damage. And Terry's Seydlitz, what are you doing?
And Terry's Nimbus is going to flare up brightly, and she calls out to Jaseth, just like, hey, fuckface, essentially. Killing all of her beloved Knights of Redemption. And one thing she's going to do, when her Nimbus flares up, the Nimbus alters a little bit and it turns into a big glowing sword. And she's going to activate her Cypher, Sword of the Gods.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's remind us what that does. Cyphers, Sword of the Gods. Cool. A user with one or more divine shifts who manifests their nimbus, that's you, gains an additional effect for up to 1 hour. While this manifestation is active, the user's nimbus takes the form of a glowing weapon. Okay, cool. So yeah, your nimbus doesn't just change. Your nimbus becomes the weapon. Yeah, so it changes into a sword, and then you can like reach up and take it down, and you just have this glowing sword of divinity. Cool. So it reduces all attacks by 2 steps, and it deals an additional number of damage for every divine shift you possess. So additional 3 damage. Cool. That's dope. Cool. Okay. So manifesting that is your action. Mina attacked. Seydlitz, what are you doing?
First, what are the rules of firing into melee?
If you miss, I'm gonna make you hit somebody.
Do I really want to risk hitting G or Norm with 6 damage?
Or any of my knights.
Or the knights.
No, I kind of don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to fire the comically large weapon, but I don't want to kill anyone. Because I don't want Antares to be mad at me when all's said and done.
This is
Because
a
how
Monster
can-
Hunter Monster Hunter scene that you've always wanted.
That's true.
Yes, it is, actually. All right, what would be the difficulty, Mike?
To attack the king. Difficulty at range is difficulty 7.
You said, oh yeah, I have a range 7, so 6. Let's do, all right, 6 with the divine shift. Let's do double effort just to see. Can I use Raiden to support me as an asset?
Tell me how.
Basically, he kneels down and acts like as a mount.
So you can like place the ballista on him? Yeah, okay. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I asked him first if he doesn't have to agree.
Yeah, no, I can take that.
All right, come on.
Okay, so you
I don't have any
fire-
XP either.
You fire into the crowd. It like because of like the fact that it's on a living creature, there's a little bit of a wobble to it, and you fire this thing, and the recoil like hits both you and Raiden as the bolt goes wide and completely misses your target, despite not moving. That is everyone's turn. The knights are doing their damnedest to attack. And Terry's, you see that the knights, having just faced off against 4 Knights of Redemption yourself. Knights of Reconciliation. Your knights are not as good. It's weird.
What? They
Yeah.
used to be.
Turns out, the power of evil that evil wields is stronger than the power of baby God wields. They are not as strong, and you also see, as you like see Mina in there as well, there is something that is like sapping them of power. In addition to that, you essentially have a fledgling order of paladins. Not nearly as strong as the evil bullshit that your mother has given them. By not wielding evil bullshit, it has weakened them. And also the king is doing something.
That's usually how it works. If you're not evil, you're usually underpowered. So.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a debuff. That's what you see is happening. And you see that there's some sort of weakening effect emanating from the king. What are you doing?
She's charging in and she's attacking.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you right now, I'm bold. I am trained against all actions and overcoming fear and intimidation.
I like that. You're trained in it. Great. Roll me an intellect defense, difficulty 6, with your training.
It's might.
This one is gonna be intellect. So intellect difficulty, and then add an asset for your training.
Sorry, what was the difficulty?
6.
Nope.
Okay. You are not immune to it. You have a -1 to all tasks as long as you remain within a short range of him. Mina, you'll get a chance to roll that as well. In fact, you can roll it right now. Your attack failed either way. But you can roll that as well to see if you have a minus for future attacks. Okay, so Antares, you charge in there. You feel that dread, that same thing, that running up your spine, that fear. Something feels like being home. Like it feels like when you fucked up and you're walking into a home and your parents know you fucked up and you're just waiting for the ass kicking. That's the feeling as you charge in. As soon as you hit that wall, you have that same like almost parental disapproval. And you have a -1 penalty as long as you remain in this area. Do you attack?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm attacking.
Go for it. Difficulty is 7 with a -1, so difficulty 8, we'll say.
But I get -2 to my thingy anyway because of my sword.
Yep.
Mina's going to attack as well.
Okay.
That's one.
Sorry, what's the regular difficulty? Is 6 or 7?
It is.
Just tell me what the base difficulty is.
7
is 7.
normally.
It's 7? Okay. I don't get any assets for what I'm doing. Don't. Failed. God damn it.
Okay. Mina, why is yours 5?
Because I've got 3 shifts in spirit attack.
All right. Cool.
Oh, no, wait, doesn't matter. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
So you swing with this blade, arcing down this golden light of your nimbus, as Mina, you stab forward with the spear. 15 damage? That seems
That's
excessive.
6 plus 3 for each shift. 9,
Yeah,
so...
that's crazy. I forgot that you just stacked everything in your weapon. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So he has 5 armor. So that's going to be 10 points of damage to him as you like step in behind and you like right in like the spleen. You stab him right through like the small of his back. That is your turns. Seydlitz, what are you doing? And Corax as well.
G, on your roll, did you remember that your sword reduces your difficulty by 2?
Yeah, but I have -1 because of the fear thing.
Oh, okay.
Or the aura that he has. So I only had a -1.
Seydlitz is scratching right in behind the ears as he takes a recovery roll.
Okay.
Mike, does the dead knights that are around, do they look like they've taken anything other than a normal damage from a weapon? What I'm trying to discern is, have they taken some sort of elemental or magical damage?
Here's what I'll say. For you to get any more detail than they're dead, you'll have to spend the action investigating their corpses.
Okay. That's not enjoyable.
Listen, I can't give you everything.
Is Jason facing away or towards me?
He's facing away. He's facing the queen.
Okay. I think for this round, then, Corax is going to do the same move to stop him from attacking. Corax's intellect is low. Even though this doesn't cost him anything, his intellect is low, so anyone who noticed would see that he's starting to struggle. Although he casts this, he begins to start to struggle to maintain it.
Okay. Can't attack anyone or anything. What a specific use of words.
Yep. He can do anything else he wants.
Yeah, that's cool. Mina, unfortunately, you see that on his turn, the wound that is bleeding this green-black ichor begins to seal itself shut as he regains hit points. And that is just a thing that does happen every turn. And let's see. Well, he activated that Cypher, so that one's gone. But that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I made this character so long ago that I forgot what abilities he had. You see that on his gauntleted, he attacks with his right hand, so his gauntleted left hand, you see almost like those like sexy lady gloves that have like the little hoop on the middle finger that sort of like arcs this way. He has it on the opposite side, and you see him like reach and just crush with a fist, and you see that a skull-shaped jewel shatters, and you see the remnants just sort of fall to the ground, and then this like wisp of green-gray smoke sort of swirls into the mouth and nostrils of one of the dead Knights of Redemption, and you hear this guttural as its eyes glow that green-gray, and you can see from its eyes and nose and mouth these veins start to like protrude that same color, and down on its exposed, like any exposed skin, you see that start to flow through as it begins to get up and pick up the sword. And a Knight of Redemption, a reanimated Knight of Redemption, has joined the fray as he shatters one of his other ciphers. Cool. That is the king's turn. Technically not an attack. Thank you very much. And that goes to Mina and Teres and Corex. He is still unable to attack you guys. What are the three of you doing?
Mina's going to keep attacking while he can.
Okay. Difficulty is still technically an 8 because of the -1. Oh, I have a corruption bar, guys. That's cool.
Yes, you do. Also, do you mean Mina and Teres and Seydlitz? Because Korax just went.
Yes, that's what I said. Gee, how mad at you that I turned one of your guys against you.
Very.
Okay, great.
Oh, I'm just thinking about this now. That retinue guy actually took 9 damage because of the +3 from the divide shift.
Okay, I'll write that down.
All of a sudden, the wall, he just drops dead or something.
So no, they have like 20 health and a number of armor. 2 armor, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's a 20 to hit.
That is a 20 to hit. Hell yeah, dude. Okay. What would you like? Would you like extra damage, or would you like a major effect? You know
Cut
what?
off his arm.
I'll give you an option.
Well, he takes 11 damage base. So
He takes 11?
yeah, because I have +3 with my Cypher.
Oh yeah, because your number of divine shifts.
+4.
He takes 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes 7 damage. Here's what I'll say. You can give him the +4. What I will say for a major effect is, because your weapon is divine, you stop any infernal recovery this round.
1 round.
He recovers 10 hit points a round.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, might as well.
So describe this fucking nat 20.
I think when he resurrects one of her knights, she just screams with rage and just like two-handed with her sword, and she leaps into the air and just like pile drives him.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Mina, you see all the divine fury rage out of Antares. What are you doing?
Mina attacked.
Oh, great. So another. So let's see. I don't know why I wrote that down. So 48. He was back at full, so that's 10 points down for Mina, and then 7 minus the armor. Oh, Christ, too many things on my screen. 10 points for Mina, minus another 7 points. 8. Cool. Great. So you slash into him with this divine blade. Mina, you stab into him. He kind of arcs back in pain. You see that ichor seep down his back again. Seydlitz, what are you doing?
Seydlitz, seeing the random knight being revived, knowing Korax might try to maintain his spell for as long as he can, he's going to shift targets for the sake of trying to bring the numbers back down again.
Okay.
And he's going to direct right in to assist him once more.
Difficulty 7 on the knights.
Shoot the big, comically large crossbow, comically small ballista.
Okay. Difficulty 7 on the knight.
That's 6. 9, 10, plus 1 asset. 18. So
Hell
plus
yeah.
2.
So
9 damage. Actually,
9.
no. Actually, hold on. The ballista does 6 base, so it's 11 damage.
Great. So 39. Great. You fire a ballista arrow, a ballista bolt into this Knight of Redemption, attempting to re-deadify him. Korax, before I let you hold person again, I will say, I'm going to give you some options here. 1, you can still CSI the corpse. 2, you can do your whatever action you had planned. 3, you can use your magical knowledge to investigate this reanimated thing and perhaps learn details about it.
Well, the plan I had, I don't have enough to do. Korax is going to start moving around inside the room. He wants to see the front of Jace's.
Okay. I'll let that happen as a free action. It's a small enough room. No challenge there. What's a big enough?
He is looking to see if he can find what Jace's is using to bolster him. Does he have like a case that's on him or something that's open that's holds something that he's using?
To bolster himself?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me intelligence difficulty 7. Knowledge, I think general knowledge would help you here. Yeah.
So knowledgey things. Okay. So I'll drop it to 6 and then use 2 assets for his ciphers. No success.
Do you have XP?
I do not. I gave it to Mina.
Okay. You look at him and nothing comes to mind. He is heavily armored, wielding a pretty formidable blade. You did see that obviously he activated a Cypher to create that cape situation. He clearly activated another Cypher to resurrect a knight. But other than those 2 ciphers, nothing seems to be empowering him. You don't see any, like, a scroll case, excuse me, that is like any sort of missive from the queen or from the dragon that could be empowering him. At least not like visible on him right now. But you can try again next time. However, you did not hold person, and he is going to lash out and strike at. Let's see here. He is gonna. Yeah, he's gonna lash out. Unfortunately, Antares and Mina are behind him, so he is hell bent on getting to the queen. So he's gonna lash out and strike at one of the knights, and you see him like slash his saber across the chest of it, and you see it like slash into the metal armor, leaving a gouge there. It doesn't pierce through the armor, but it does a bit of damage to it. That is his action. The knights retaliate. And the Knight of Reconciliation with a bolt in its chest is going to stab at Mina. So Mina, difficulty 7, a reanimated Knight of Redemption is attacking you. Difficulty, speed defense is actually as difficulty 8.
Jesus.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Since this is not an attack, what would you like as the major effect here?
Can he lose his weapon and not be able to attack next round as he recovers?
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, you like shield bash him, and it completely like throws him off kilter. And he casts this blade to the side as he does so. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. So that is a dodge there. Mina and Terry's Seydlitz, it is your turn.
Seydlitz is going to drop the crossbow ballista for a second, and he's going to direct Raiden to attack the Knight of Redemption, and he's going to do the same.
Okay.
So I'm going to shoot him with the normal crossbow. And I don't know how to roll for the other one.
So you shoot the normal crossbow. Mina attacks and hits. Does 15 points of damage. Hold on. Let me. 15 points of damage. Minus the armor. That is 10 points of damage.
I hit the Knight of Reconciliation for 8.
Oh, you're hitting the Knight. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I'm directing the Spirit Guardian to do the same.
Okay.
But I don't have a way to roll for him.
That's okay. Give me 1 second, and I will roll that. You attack the Knight for, would you say 7 damage?
8, because of +1.
Gotcha. That would be that. Okay, and you're having the Spirit Guardian attack this as well. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, cool. He attacks. Roll me. Just roll me the same difficulty. Just roll me a speed. Difficulty is gonna be 7, or difficulty is 8 rather.
Just a normal speed, difficulty 7. Does the Spirit Guardian have effort values?
No, he does not. You can spend your effort to aid him, but only if you haven't spent it on your own turn.
I already spent it on my own turn. So
he launches towards this thing, doesn't actually find purchase, but is chewing on a limb. That is their turn. Corex.
Mike, I have an ability called Scan an area, blah, 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 but scanning a creature or object reveals its level, a measure of how powerful or dangerous it is, and also learn whatever facts the GM feels are pertinent about the matter and energy in that area.
Great. Are you... what's the range on the scan? Or is it one specific target?
Well, so it's an area 10-foot cube.
Okay, great.
So
That's what I want to know.
I basically
Perfect.
want to scan Jason himself.
Yep. But it does extend around him. So, great. So you scan, so spend your points as needed. Jaseth is level 7. And what I will say is he has an aura of dread, which is the -1 that is affecting everybody. He also has a commanding presence, which would give allies a +1. He also has undying regeneration, which heals him 10 points per round. He also has a 3rd Cypher. I will also reveal to you that the energies binding the soul of the Knight of Redemption to life are tethered to Jaseth. Meaning, if you kill him, you re-deadify the Knight of Redemption.
And the cipher that he has,
Mm-hmm.
Does Korax know where that is?
Yeah, sure. It is in an iron flask on his belt.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You do not see any sort of what the hell are they called? The decree from the dragon. Nothing like that is powering him up. But he is a reanimated Chryserian, and you know that he was not when he was king. You assume that is also bolstering him in some capacity. That is your turn. He slashes at one of the knights. The knights slash back. He takes some damage, and he regenerates on his turn. Mina and Teres and Seydlitz, what about you? Actually, Korax, do you say any of that?
No, not at this time.
Great. Mina and Teres and Seydlitz, what do you do? And Teres, your best guess is the guy he keeps the Redemption Knight he keeps attacking is probably looking bad.
Yeah.
Mina will keep attacking because he's essentially keeping him at the level he's at. Otherwise, he keeps regenerating.
Well, I hit again. I do 7 damage.
I cannot succeed some of these days. You're muted, Mike.
Go ahead and roll the roll for the Guardian Spirit as well. Okay. So again, you're just peppering this undead Knight of Redemption. He recovers his blade. That's his action. King Jaseth cuts down another one of the Knights of Redemption, having 3 rounds unimpeded. One goes down, and he takes a step towards the queen and subsequently towards Korax as the other knights sort of close ranks tighter around him. That is his turn. They all attack Mina and Teres, Seydlitz, Korax. Korax, I guess you're first. So Korax, what are you doing?
Korax is going to try and use any distraction that the others are causing on Jaseth. And he's going to dive straight at him and try and grab that flask off of his belt.
I will give you 2 assets for this roll. 1, because it's the combat. Actually, I'm going to give you 2 assets for this roll. 1, because it's the combat, and 2, because he seems to be like tunnel vision focused on the queen. So this will still be a difficulty 7 roll, but you have 2 assets for this. And I want to say this is going to be speed.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And I'm going to use 2 efforts plus 2 assets.
Another 7 damage for me.
Hell yeah.
And a success from Korax.
Hell yeah. You like tumble in and grab this using your small stature to like pull this thing off his belt. And do you want to like continue the roll through the other side, like back to where your allies are, or like just sort of dart in, grab, dash back where you were?
He wants to get people between him and Jason.
Okay, so you're trying to like run. You basically try to run through the crowd. You snatch this up and you move through the enemy forces. More damage coming in from all sides here. Whatever the two of you are doing is finding purchase. And Korax, you dodge through. You turn and you see Antares slash him again, and like rivulets of this like ichor are running down his back as you see another stab from Mina. He doesn't seem to like really be paying attention to the pain it's causing, but you do see him reach down exactly to where that flask was, as if to grab it and come up empty-handed. Right in the nick of time. What are you doing, Seydlitz? You are muted.
Seydlitz is just going to keep repeating until he kills this reanimated corpse.
Good
Because
luck.
at least he's got distracted.
Yep, go for it. Attack.
That's a 1.
Ooh, boy.
Ouch.
Boy. Cool. Well, they don't have that ability anymore because they lost it. Interesting. Okay. So you fire on the guy, and you see it like as it like picks up its blade, it dodges the arrow and just very like Pyramid Head, the blade is still on the ground as it dodges towards you and just backhand brings the blade up across you. So take an immediate roll of difficulty 7 to defend against this. Difficulty 7 speed defense.
All right, difficulty 7 Tues, since I have 2 divine shifts and dexterity, which means movement, acrobatics, initiatives, and speed defense. So that's
Yep.
a 5.
Great.
Make that a 4. And that's a 20.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. So that negates this. He slashes his blade at you. Would have been 10 points of might damage there. That is here's what I'll say. So that attack was in relation to the GM intrusion, but because you got a nat 20, the major effect is you leap back far enough that when he brings the blade down for his actual attack on his turn, you're already out of the range for that. So essentially, he got 2 attacks, you dodge both of them. Jason is again cutting straight towards the queen. You do see, anyone who's paying attention to him does see that he is a little bit more, less calculated, more frantic. Less Mina, more Antares about his attacks. Now that whatever he reached for is missing. Yes, that is what happens. So Korax, what are you doing?
Korax has a new toy, Mike. He's gonna open it and try and figure out what to do with it.
It is a liquid. You drink it.
Korax drinks it.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Mike's faces is not a good idea.
The utter shock on Mike's face.
Never be the first to drink a viscous fluid.
This is how you become.
Remember, kids, don't drink mysterious fluids at home.
Okay. Fuck. Okay, great. You consume a level 5 Cypher.
You told me you drink it.
I told you asked, I open it and what do I do with it? It's a liquid, that's what you do with it. You drink it. Okay. Okay. You consume this liquid. This tastes awful. Absolutely, unequivocally the worst thing you've ever tasted in the entirety of your life. You feel that, like, you feel this drink hit every pocket of your esophagus down to you feel it mingle with the acid in your stomach. You feel it like roiling through your body. You can feel your veins are on fire as you consume this liquid. And as you swallow the last of it, you have like this, not exactly a burp, but like a growl comes out of your mouth, and you see a wisp of this green-gray sort of smoke that was similar to the one where he shattered the gem, and your body is freezing cold. You feel an overwhelming desire, not desire, but like hunger and ache to physically touch somebody. Do you touch somebody?
Korak has become the Lich King, everybody.
Say again?
Is it specifically someone living?
It is.
Because he would run and jump and try it and jump onto Jason.
Jason is technically, the reanimator are technically living.
Then he would run and jump onto Jason's back. Because is Jason's back towards him or his front?
His back.
His back. He would run and jump onto Jason's back and try and grab him around the neck.
Okay. You Mina and Antarius and Seydlitz, you see Korax uncharacteristically move towards combat and leap, grabbing onto King Jason. Korax, all of the warmth had been sucked out of your body, but the moment you grasp onto this person and every part of your body that touches him, you feel warmth returning as you are funneling life essence out of him. You can feel it running through your veins, cascading up your arms, into your chest. Your heart beats faster. If you were down, pools, you recover 16 points of your pools.
Jesus.
As you sap the life out of him.
That's really
Does Korak just become a lich?
He did not.
Aw.
A leech.
Yeah.
Well, he did that.
You have consumed the elixir of Death's Embrace. Consuming this elixir grants the ability to drain the life force from a living target upon a successful touch, restoring a portion of your health, of their health to the of the damage dealt. Yeah, that's crazy. You see the remaining reanimated life force sort of drained from him as Korax, you like slip off his shoulders and he stumbles forward. Mina and Terry say that you can see that he is dying or re-dying. In fact, you see whatever magic is animating the knight collapses and he falls to his knees and just sort of topples over like a sack of potatoes. And he looks to the queen as he like stumbles towards his saber, like rattles to the ground and falls out of his hand. And he speaks as if to her, but really to everyone. And he just rattles out of his bones, "In this hallowed hall, where the fate of Samora was to be decided, I find myself undone, not by a single blade, but the unity of those I deem unworthy. I came to conquer a city, to sit upon its throne and reclaim my dominion. Yet in arrogance, I have underestimated the strength that lies in the old. I sought immortality." And he continues walking towards her. "I sought immortality."
Seydlitz, not much one for monologue, whistles for a ride-in and hoists the big ballista, and he's going to shoot Jason in the back to shut him up.
You can. It's still a difficulty 7.
One asset for ride-in, so that's a
Yep.
plus 1 divine shift, that's difficulty 5. And I'm gonna put 3 effort in. I'm gonna put all 2 effort into it.
Go for it.
Oh wait, hold on.
Does he still talk?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
going to
still
pause
talking
until
while-
he fires this thing.
Watch it be a GM intrusion. Nope, that's a 17.
Nope. So he says, I
Oh.
sought immortality in stone and song.
He takes 10 damage.
A legacy that wouldn't... As you see a arrow get fired into its spine, and he collapses. And any information you would have gained from the monologue is dead with Jason.
I hate monologues.
And that is where we end this episode of
Oh, come
The
on!
Rise.
Seriously?
What? You
We
killed
can't
the
just,
king!
We can't just, like, include this. Oh.
We're already 45 minutes over, G. You
Yeah.
killed him. Next time, we conclude with some role-playing and figure out what the hell happens as you recover. The war rages on. You guys still have a war to fight. Just because you cut the head of the snake doesn't mean the whole body dies. So, that is where we end this episode of The Rise, much to G's chagrin. But we will be back next time for more of this to see just how the Battle of Scales and Bone shakes out. But for now, let's go around to our cast and crew, do our introduction so we can get the hell out of here, do our after show. And we'll start to my grumpiest player. G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to? Love you.
Yeah, I'm G, the friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. Find me in the Discord. In all things unMadeGaming for modding. Next week is the one-shots for Patreon, so be there for that. And that's it for this month, I believe.
G, I'm so sorry that you're mad.
I'm not mad.
Chris, away on holiday, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
He's not mad, Mike.
She's not
Just
mad.
disappointed. I'm Chris Akenekri. You can find me in the Discord, the only place, nowhere else. Here in the one shots, Age of Always, when we next schedule that. I don't know what date we got that. And yeah, for the Rise.
Hell yeah. Snow, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Normal Snow. You'll see me in the one shots and next month on The Rise, and that's about it.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, the cutscene skipper, Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I'm Matt RD. You'll find me in the Patreon campaign here in The Rise and in the Patreon one-shots along my Discord.
Hell freaking yes. Yeah, so tune in.
And yes, I do despise villain monologues.
Well,
so I do personally try to just interrupt them.
I write so many of them. So that being said, catch our one-shots next week. It's going to be a fun time. And then that's it for us. So thank you guys for being here. We're going to get out of here. We're going to get an after show going on. If you guys want access to that, join us over on the Patreon. Link down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And that's it from us. We'll see you guys next time. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.
Bye.